Hi everyone. So while I was going through my getting to know you surveys for the classes, a lot of people were asking me about why I went into stats and how I decided what to do in university. And I thought maybe a bit easier to just write a short video for you guys. So I really loved math in high school. I had some really wonderful math teachers who were super inspired by math, that were always very excited about their lectures, and really truly just thought math was the coolest thing they had ever done. And for me, that's just absolutely contagious. I love people talking about things they're passionate about, whatever it is. And I found that math was this really creative thing for me, especially my grade 11, 12, and IB math teacher, Mr. Penning. He would always help me find these like interesting new connections between different branches of math, or we'd get this cool video and get us all to watch it. And it just made me see that it could really play in to the kind of creative person that I am. And I read a lot of nonfiction books about the history of mathematics, and I realized that there's some great stories and really cool like unsolved mysteries in the field of math and current unsolved problems, and the idea that there's always so much more to pick at and all this math that's getting discovered. And that was just, it spoke to me on this deep level that, there's all these mysteries of the universe that we got to uncover. And, I felt very connected to it, and connected that, there's something greater than us out there as we keep discovering more math and finding all these connections between different branches of science that were in some sense made in complete vacuums, but actually turned out to be very closely related to one another. So I knew I wanted to do math. I was very, very pro math when I went into university. So I took basically whatever I could, which meant both math and stats. I did my undergrad at the University of Winnipeg. I did all the math contest problems. So I called myself the head math geek. I ran the Math Stats Students Association for 4 of my 5 years that I spent there. I was super involved, but I was still trying very hard to decide what it was that I wanted to do beyond something that was math related. And then the summer before I started my 4th year, a professor invited me to do a summer research project with them in experimental design. I've talked about this professor before in my classes, the one who worked with Standard Aero on that project for coding plane engine parts. And he had me doing the summer research project in experimental design, but it had a lot to do with combinatorics, so counting related problems, how many objects exist with certain characteristics, and computer programming. And I got to spend the summer like writing really cool R code while working on these combinatorial problems and digging deep and doing something myself. Like I was contributing to actual statistical research that people were going to use. And I worked super well with this professor. And it was really this team collaborative effort. Math, for a lot of it, in your training, it's something you do on your own. But doing the summer research let me see that science and research is a collaborative effort. And having someone to bounce ideas back and forth from, to talk things through, it made the process just that much more exciting. And I found that by doing the summer research project, that stats was something that had lots of applications. I learned about so many different areas of sciences because stats gets applied to absolutely everything. There's a saying that, that is something to the effect of statisticians get to play in everyone else's backyard. And that is so true. Stats needs an application. Where's the data coming from? And I learned so many things by studying different stats problems about the world around me that I never would have encountered if it hadn't been for stats. Is being able to really make a difference on real world problems. And then I was invited after that first summer to work on a second summer research project with that same prof, which, because of how well these things work, that's what kind of went into my master's degree. So that second summer research project turned into my master's project. And I kind of stumbled into choosing stats for my grad work because it was something that I was so excited about and that really spoke to me. So if you want some sort of advice out of why did I choose stats, it's one, find what you're passionate about. Find the thing that really speaks to you and just go for it. Learn about the history. Learn about what people are doing in the field. Learn about the who's who. Be able to get the broad understanding of your field, and that's what makes it more exciting. 2, if you get the opportunity to do summer research, grab it. Take it. You'll learn so much about what you like, what you don't like, especially if you're thinking going to grad school. It really cemented for me that grad school was what I wanted to do. I had been considering going for an education degree, and I realized that no, I wanted to keep doing this research. This led to I want to teach at a university, and that never left me. But I knew that my next step was going to be grad program because of the fact that I did that summer research. And it was also a wonderful opportunity, not just to learn whether that's what I wanted to do with my life, but make connections with other students in science. We had such a great time doing these work projects in the summer, that the summer research students, we would get together, we would work on problems, we would share what we were doing, talk about our research, solve problems together. We worked in a big office together, and it was one of the greatest experiences I ever had of my undergrad. Do something that speaks to you. Life is short. University can feel long, but if you're doing something that's really meaningful to you and that gets you excited to go and learn about it, you're doing the right thing, and you're not going to regret that the time you spend doing something that you're very excited and very passionate about. So that's why I chose stats, because it spoke to me of all the things that I really loved. My 2 greatest things that I enjoyed doing, combinatorics and computing, and just learning about the world and being able to work with other people who are passionate about what they do. And here I am now, and I'm super excited and happy that that is what I chose.